About like the Quran being like there, the issue about it being created and not created, about how there was a big debate in the past. So I don't exactly understand like the two sides. Like, what do people mean when they say it's created, and what do they mean when they say it's not created? Because I don't think either side actually meant that created in terms of written by people. So like how, yeah. So what do they even mean, and like how do you make sense of it?
The Mu'tazilis believe that it was created. It was a makhluk, that Allah created the Quran. The words were created. They were not. Whereas the Ahl Sunnah position is that the words are not created, and that the words are exactly, they are a subset of an attribute of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is speech. So like I'm speaking to you right now, I have the ability to speak, and my speech is a subset of my ability to speak and my capacity to speak. Likewise, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's speech is not created. It's not manufactured. It's a subset of one of his attributes. So the Mu'tazilis believed that it was created in the same way as human beings are created, or the universe was created. And Ahlul Sunnah believed that that's not the case.
Does that make sense? Sorry. Where's the... Does that make sense?
I mean, like, I just don't understand, like, I guess I can't fully comprehend in the, not in terms of how it's possible, but rather like, are the words kind of emitted at some point? And does that...
Yeah, omission. All right, look, so does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does he create?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he creates. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, does he hear all things?
Yeah.
Does he see all things?
Yeah.
Right. Now all of those things, are they created? Like, did Allah create? Did Allah create an ability for himself to hear?
Oh, I see. So when you say the words are not created, like the Quran is not created, you mean like the ability to speak is not created?
That Allah's ability to speak is not created, and that the words themselves are not created. They are omitted, as you mentioned, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a way that suits His Majesty, which is nothing like the khalq, like the creation. But they're not created. It's like, just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not create His ability to hear, and He does not create His ability to see, and that's intrinsically, it's a part, it is an aspect of what He is, not a part, an aspect of what He is. Then in that case, the same can be said about kalam, about speech, that He did not create it.
But like for example, a single verse, or like the message itself, is it kind of depending on the will of Allah, or is it it's not like part of the essence, right? It's not like a necessary. It was, I don't know how.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are broken down into two. There's the attributes which are intrinsic and necessary. Actually, all of Allah's attributes are necessary, yeah? But there's those which are intrinsic. They're called as-sifat al-dhatiyya. They're the intrinsic attributes. So for example, that Allah is pre-eternal, that He is post-eternal, that He is all-powerful, that He has all knowledge. All of that is min sifat Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dhatiyya, or the intrinsic attributes of Allah. And then you have the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, the will of Allah. And the will is Allah's ability to make decisions. Okay? And then you have another set of sifat or attributes of Allah called as-sifat al-ikhtiyariyya, or as-sifat al-fi'liyya, which are the verbal attributes. Now, verbal attributes refer to that which Allah does. And that which Allah does is linked to Allah's will. So when Allah decides something, the verbal attributes are then activated, okay, as a result of whatever He wills. So some of the examples of those is like speech. Allah wills to speak, He shall speak. If He wills not to, He will not. If Allah wills to create, He will create. If He wills not to, He will not. So the sifat, the attributes which are fi'aliyah, they are connected to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.